And is the microphone on? Now the microphone is on. Oh gosh, boy, real broadcast professional here. Hi, let's start this again. Take two. I'm John Lotshaw, the idiot crackpot cartoonist who can't be bothered to turn on his microphone. Um, oh boy. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, now I can wake up. Hey, I'm sorry about that. And again, sorry about last night. Last night last night I just wasn't really feeling very good. I'd not gotten any sleep, and I was carrying on cranky all day. It just wouldn't have been a good show, so I went ahead and pulled the plug on it. But I then about 20 minutes after I went ahead, after I already canceled the show, a friend of mine called me and asked me if I'd seen Wonder Woman yet. So we went to see a late show Wonder Woman. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's really good. I mean, DC, they finally got a good DC movie because Zack Snyder isn't directing it. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I grew up with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, and Gal Gadot she was just fantastic as Wonder Woman, and I think they did a great job with it. And Chris Pine was good as Steve Trevor. So I really recommend it. It really was great. It's Tuesday, so that means Total Request Tuesday. We got a special request coming up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we'll be taking some requests a little bit later on. See, we got some folks already watching. Hello to everybody there. Thank you for letting me know the microphone wasn't on. I need you basically to check that so that I know when the microphone is not on or not. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Linda have a little cameo, but you know, there was in the end credits there was a lot of thank yous, and there was a whole bunch of people in there. George Perez and just a Len Wein and a whole bunch of people, and Linda Carter was listed in there. So I thought that they did a fantastic, they really did a great job of bringing Wonder Woman to the screen. A lot better than Man of Steel. Don't even get me started on that movie. Just don't go there. It's like bringing up Stuckies. Okay. Anyway, just want to let you know I'm thinking about doing a little experiment here. About not doing the show on YouTube and moving over to Twitch or Picardo. And the reason why is I'm getting a little honked off at YouTube because they keep moving the goalposts for people starting off with in terms of monetization. I just found out, you know, I'm not going to be able to run ads and do any kind of monetization until I have 10,000 views across my entire channel. And the rate things are going, that's going to be sometime in the 23rd century. And I'm just, you know, I'm really not happy because when I started, that restriction was not there. There's a monetization thing called a super chat, which allows you to kind of get to the front of the line on the chat, which, you know, we've got 5 people on the chat right now. We don't really need to jump to the front of the line, but, you know, it'd be nice to, you know, money-wise. But that doesn't turn on until I have 1,000 subscribers. And they just keep changing the rules, and I'm sick and tired of you know, if I know what the rules are going in, that's fine. But when I go in and then they change the rules, I'm not happy with that. Twitch and Picardo are two platforms that are aimed at monetization. The thing is, Twitch is really aimed at gamers, and it's really aimed at gamers. And there's not a whole lot of I mean, there is some people doing live draws and things like that on Twitch. Picardo, on the other hand, is oriented towards artists, to what I'm doing here, but they the tools are not as sophisticated. And Mimo Live, which is the software that I'm using right now, I'm looking at the software as I'm looking off screen, is the software that allows me to do all of the nice things like remind you about the tip jar that I have, you know, with the graphic down there, and also the patron list, which I'm going to get to in just a moment. The software doesn't have one-click support for that. And so it's a little, you got to configure servers and all this. And I was playing with it today, and it really wasn't working in a way that I thought was sufficient for what we're doing here. Right now I'm streaming at 1080, and I was having problems getting it at 1080, and it was just it's a kludge, and I don't like kludges. I like something that's I just click and it works, because I need to put on a show. I don't need to be futzing with servers. So it's something that I'm working on. I'm just like I said, I'm just sick and tired of YouTube moving the goalposts, and I'm not alone. I know there's a lot of other people out there who are feeling that same way. But so as I get some of these technical issues worked out, I'll let you know what I'm going to do. But I'm just something that I'm thinking about doing. Patrons. Patrons are very important, and I can't do all this stuff without it. And I want to acknowledge the folks who are the patrons. As you can see, I've got a little crawl going on here, down there. And if you are a patron, you will see your name coming up very soon. And I do appreciate it. There are all kinds of levels of support. There is a... Excuse me. Hold on, I have to turn the microphone off for a second. But I remembered to turn it back on. I think I turned it back on. Yes, I did. I see the VU meter is moving, so I did turn it back on. Here they come. Here comes the patrons. So patrons get benefits starting at $5 a month, and $5 a month you see new pages, which I was working on last week. As those get done, they get posted to Patreon. The new story, Seven Centauri, will only be on Patreon until the story is complete, and then I will release it to the world. But patrons get it exclusively until the story is complete. So that starts at $5 a month, and then at $30 a month there is Not Safe for Work Friday, which Friday I will post a naughty picture. And in fact, there's a sample right there of what's been done so far. Please, I really appreciate the Patreon patronage. That's a very important part of making this happen and keeping this on the air. So if you are not a patron, please consider going over to the address, which is scrolling right now, or it just went by. Patreon.com/Accidental Centaurs, and that's a nice little segue into our shameless capitalism portion, where I talk about things like the Patreon page, which I was talking about just a moment ago. There's also the Facebook page. That's the best place to find out what's going on with Accidental Centaurs and with me, and you can like that page and follow it, and keep up to date with everything that is going on. I do have an Etsy page where original art is available, and please go over and consider buying some original art. I did commissions over there as well, so keep that in mind as well. All of these ways of supporting do keep this on the air and keep Accidental Centaurs going, so I do greatly appreciate it. We have the books, the 2 volumes, Lulu. There's also PDF versions, download versions of these books available. And then there's also the Naughty Bits, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Those are also available. And you can pick those up. I also get digital versions of those. Coming soon, I got to get the code and everything, figure out how to put it into the page. But the comic books are going to be available soon through the Accidental Centaurs website. And I have the issue 9, which is Negative Spaces, that is on order. And new copies of issue 1 will be available, and those will also be available at Dragon Con, which is September 1st through 4th here in Atlanta. I will be next to Bill Holbrook and the Eisner-winning editor of Hogan's Alley, Tom Heiches. And again, if you're not familiar with Hogan's Alley, go check that magazine out, hoganmag.com. Great magazine. And no, James, you don't need to mention that Naughty Bits books have some excellent stories in them, because I just mentioned it just now. There are some excellent stories in there, and and that's the thing about the Naughty Bits books, is that I don't, it's not just how to put this and still be family friendly. It's not just the old in out, as they would say in A Clockwork Orange. I try to actually have a story to go along with the adult elements. So, all right. So that's the shameless capitalism part of our show. And now we're on to the drawing. Yes, hooray, the drawing. Okay. Last week, Darkwing Dude, who I see is on. Hello. Had asked, when I was just saying, what do you want me to draw? Had asked if I would draw his character from his strip. And I didn't blow him off. I vamped for time, which is a professional way of blowing him off. No, seriously, I didn't want to. I didn't want to draw it without some reference material, and I hate having to try and search for reference. Going, hold on, I'm looking it up. I don't want to do that on the air. So I said, let's do this on Tuesday, and let me get some reference material from you. And then we can, then we'll do it properly. So here we are, Tuesday, and he did send me reference material, and I'm going to show that to you right now. And here is the shots of his character. Oh, and by the way, go and check out his website, which is right here, offcentaur.com. It's a webcomic about people who are suddenly transformed into centaurs. So, people accidentally turned into centaurs. Wow. That's a great idea. Wait a minute. All right. Anyway, but anyway, so that's where we're going tonight. And so, without further ado, let's get to drawing, shall we? Let's see. I'll pull this up here so that I can see it a little better, because I don't have, my eyesight is, well, it sucks. All right, so I can cover up that camera because I'm not. Wow, that is bright white. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow out the camera like that. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'm going to kind of rough in the body here, and let's see. We'll rough in the torso. And you can see he wears a kind of a plaid shirt. So we'll just kind of rough that in here. Get bunches up in the back here. And it looks like the nose is kind of rounded like that. Yeah, I kind of figured it was kind of like a plaid polo shirt, so. And then the ears are not covered. A little bit of a sideburns there. And then this kind of scraggly hair from the bangs. Foreshorten the limbs there a little bit. I don't mind telling you, drawing the horse's legs are the worst. I just cringe every time I have to draw horse's legs, which is a lot, because I just don't feel like I never really have gotten them right. All right. All right, so now I'm going to kind of refine this a little bit more. Still trying to do it light because I'm going to eventually end up erasing all of this after the ink goes down. Oh, you know what? A little music. There we go. A little drawing music. You're being way too kind, Dark Queen. Way too kind. All right. actually, music is that's another thing. Going back to my peeves about YouTube is music and their clearance system. I had purchased legal rights to some production music. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, production music is music. It's for the specific purpose of being included in video productions. And when you buy it, you buy basically a royalty-free license, which means you don't have to pay any licensing fees for the use of sometimes you can buy them on a royalty basis, but I prefer what's called a needle drop, or a royalty-free, which is a non-needle drop. Needle drop license refers to the days when the music was shipped on LPs, and every time the needle dropped onto the record, you had to pay. That's why they were called needle drop licenses. And I prefer a buyout library, which means I can use it as much as I want for whatever I want. Which means I don't have to do record keeping to keep track of what I've used, when I've used it, what I've used it for, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a little more expensive in the short term, but it's a lot less cumbersome in the long term. And there's so I had purchased some music, some licenses that were supposed to be royalty free, and then I used them in a background tracks like this for YouTube on one of the early nightly draws, and all of a sudden there's a copyright claim on it. What? Why is there a copyright claim on music that I'm supposed to have rights to use? So I'm not really. You don't know that that the people that you bought this music from has gone and put it into YouTube's copyright system until you've used it in a production, and then all of a sudden there's a monetization claim against you. Well, thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin. So this music that you're hearing is actually music that has been put up on YouTube by artists for the specific purpose of saying you can use this. And it's already been cleared, and et cetera, et cetera. They're and some of it, in terms of production music, it's not that bad. In fact, this one that you hear in the background, there's actually kind of a variant of it that is going to be the new nightly draw theme. I've got one shot left to go to do on the new nightly draw open before it's ready, and I just haven't been bothered to actually pull out the camera and shoot it. Well, no, I didn't pay a fine, Cheetar. I didn't pay a fine. It just has a copyright claim, which means that the copyright holder has the rights to claim any monetization that I make off of that video. Which really honks me off. Because if I'd known they were going to pull that stunt, I wouldn't have put their stupid music in the show in the first place. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. If I'd known they were going to pull that stunt, I wouldn't have bought this stupid music in the first place. Again, it's moving the goalposts. I hate it when people do that, and it's. He's kind of got Jerry Lewis hair. Yeah, the microphone's very directional, so trying to. We're just working out the bugs in how this whole draw thing works. In fact, I've thought about if I can get a lavalier, a good lavalier microphone, using that, and then this microphone would be, like the one on Johnny Carson's desk for so long, it would just be ornamental. Although I would love to have a microphone like that one, that old RCA ribbon mic. Oh man, that's a collector's item. Actually, if I had an RCA ribbon mic, I would be using it. A lavalier microphone is a clip mic. The technical term for it is a lavalier, and as a broadcast professional, I'm going to use the technical term. But it's a clip-on mic. It's a little lapel microphone. It's called a lavalier because when they were first used, you wore them on a string around your neck, which is in French a lavalier. One of those English words we got from the French. Thank you, William the Conqueror. Okay, so there we go. Now, my next step is going to be to erase. And push my computer up out of the way. And that's pushing my camera around. Oh boy, I want to get this. I really want to get a replacement in here. But a replacement computer is going to be about anywhere from $600 to $1,000, so, or more. So, glasses out of the way. Don't let me forget my glasses are over there. When I say where did I put my glasses? Say over there. Yeah, like that's gonna help. All right. Now, I never was any good at erasing. I always miss spots. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, Darkwing. Eyes. What color? What color eyes? because you just got little black spots. That reminds me of my favorite Peanuts cartoon. It's got Charlie Brown and Lucy, and she's talking about her eyes, how she thinks that beautiful women have beautiful eyes. And she turns to Charlie Brown and says, "Do you think my eyes are beautiful, Charlie Brown?" And Charlie Brown looks into her eyes and says, "I think they look like little dots of India ink." Which I loved it whenever Sparky got meta like that. So, blue eyes. Okay, blue eyes. You got it. Blue eyes. Because the reason why I ask is because you've got little black spots, and my style basically is I do a colored spot for the pupil, so that's why I asked. And you know what? I need to. Oh crap! Oh, frack. I forgot to put a soaker sheet underneath because these Copics will go through the bristle. Okay. Okay, so let's do some shirts. Let's do the shirt here. So we'll start with this. That's good. Now we'll switch to the brush and now let's see. I think a darker green, maybe. Yeah. This is why I don't draw characters wearing stripes. Because I am always getting them. Okay. And I'm assuming from the artwork that the hair is just flat jet black. Let's hit the human torso first. How do you get better at steady lines? Practice. Really, honestly, it's practice. Practice. I heard someone once say that everybody has 10,000 bad drawings in them, and it's best to get them out of your system as quickly as possible. And I think that's good advice, because we all do have bad drawings in us, and most of us just don't get them out. We start drawing as kids, and we just don't keep at it. But it's really all about practice and knowing fundamentals. I don't know if you noticed, as I was building, I built this up from relatively simple shapes, from circles and straight lines and basically cylinders, spheres and cylinders, and that's all the character is spheres and cylinders. And if you keep that in mind and you think of it that way, then you'll eventually get practice in doing things like drawing steady straight lines. And I don't claim to draw steady straight lines. I don't. I can't even draw straight lines with a ruler. Just that's a long story that I really don't even know. That it was a very painful, personal, professional moment in my career. But anyway, but practice. It's all about practice. It's about drawing and drawing every day, and continuing to draw, and just even if you're just doodling, and as you doodle, look for what you did in the doodle that you liked and you don't like, and don't do what you didn't like, and try to recreate what you did like. Why did you like that? What was it about it that you said, oh, you know what, I liked what I did there. That little bit that I did right there came out so good. What did I do? What was it about it that made it work? And analyze it, think about it, and try to replicate it and integrate it into your style. That's how I developed my style. That's how everybody who has a style develops it, is by just basically trial and error and working it out and seeing what aesthetically looks good. Well, then that's exactly what you need to do then. Okay, dark brown. Okay, I can do dark brown. But I'm assuming it's kind of without a lot of gloss, because that's just the way it is in the comic. Would that be a fair thing to say? Darkwing. Anyway, to get back to the original, to what I was originally saying, it's just, that's what it takes. It's just keep at it. Just keep drawing and keep learning, and be willing to learn, and not when I got these Copics, I had to learn all about markers all over again, because my experience with markers had been cheap Kmart markers, and when I got these alcohol-based markers, and I'm still learning. I had to learn all over again about how to use markers. Like this technique that I'm doing right now, where I'm just going over it twice just layering colors, and I've been experimenting with, and I'm going to do that here in just a moment, with blending colors. Just really, it opened up whole new and things where I said, okay, I like that, and that's where how the eyes came about. Doing the pupils is I didn't want to draw the line around the pupil, so I left it blank in the inks. Came back and did it in the colors, and before I went and put the iris in, I said, I like that. Why do I like it? I like the way that looks. That's a unique look, and so I incorporated it, and that's how you do it. Okay, all right, then. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. So, here we go. Dark brown. I got a very dark brown here. But the thing is, everybody's art style evolves. Everybody's art style changes. Even the great cartoonists, you look at their work when they start, and you look at the work at the end of their careers, and it's very different. I mean, look at, for example, Charles Schulz is a great example. Even as Peanuts was in its height, he was still changing. He was still working on the style and adapting it. And give that a second coat a little bit. Okay, great, good. I'm glad I hit that right. Okay, next. Let's do. Okay, I'm gonna shade the skin tones. By the way, I cannot recommend these markers highly enough. I love these Copics. They yes, they're expensive, but they're not as expensive as you think because of the fact that they're refillable. And you can do things like this. Like, well, here's what I'm doing. I'm blending in so that instead of just having this straight line here, there's more of a gradient from the skin tone, and I'm pushing pigment off and up into the lighter area. And I'll come back and I'll hit it again. And push more of it back up in there. So you can get a nice little gradient. No, I never got to meet him. That is one of my big regrets. I've gotten to meet a lot of great cartoonists, a lot of famous cartoonists. I mean, you know, I worked with Jack Davis. I've gotten to meet Al Jaffe, you know, the creator of the Fold-In. I've gotten to meet a lot of the Mad guys. I really have. I'm so fortunate because I grew up on Mad. I loved Mad magazine as a kid, and I still have a soft spot in my heart for it, even though it's never as funny as it was when you were a kid. My dad used to, you know, he read it when he was in the Air Force, and he was and it was a comic book. And he said, "Yeah, I remember that. It was funny back then." I think it's always going to. You always remember it as funnier than it is today. But I've gotten to know a lot of the people, and I know the guy who's the new editor of Mad, Bill Morrison. He's the president of the NCS. There we go. That's nice. You know, that's actually pretty nice. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, but you know, I know Tom Richmond, who I've gotten to know Tom very well. Who is the hold on a second, I thought I was about to sneeze. And I actually got to meet Mort. I actually got to meet Mort Drucker. I'm so they did a thing where they were honoring him at the Rubens, and I actually got to meet him. Okay, now we got to do this part of it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some around the edges. Yeah. Lay down around the edges, because a shiny coat like what we have here is just not going to be a uniform blob of color. So we need a color for it to kind of fade out to. And that's what I'm laying down here with this light gray. And we'll come in with a black in just a moment to blend and I'm going to have to get some more N3. Yes, that's what I'm trying to work towards. Get the hooves. Hoofs. We'll get those in a moment. This is going to need a new nib here soon. So I'm a little loath to change because I've been hoarding the nibs, but you know that's the reason why I hoarded them, was so that I would have them, because the nibs have become very difficult to find. Because they're handmade. Hoofi. Yeah, that's it. Hoofi. There we go. All right. So now we're going to do black. Now, try to blend this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to blend it a little bit darker. Try this. This may work, this may not. Who knows? We'll find out. This may utterly destroy this drawing. But you know what? That's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Not the experimentation. So the idea is that the alcohol solvent will dissolve the pigments that have been laid down and actually allow you to move them with the brush in the new fluid and then deposit them, which is how you get the gradient. And there's not a this is actually not the best paper to be doing this with, although it's good paper. It's just not the paper that was designed. There's actually a card that that Copic sells called blending card that has a surface that's designed to not soak up the pigment, allow the pigment to sit on top of the paper. You know what? That's not too bad, though. I haven't gotten any of the blending card because, well, because I'm cheap, and and what you're seeing here is the kind of experimentation that would normally be done on something other than something for a paying client. But since you're not paying for this, we're going to experiment here. Now we'll use the chisel to rapidly fill in this space here. Then we'll go back with the slightly lighter gray and knock that out. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's try this one instead. There we go. That's a little more like it. You can see I'm trying to push the pigment off the black and kind of spread it out. I have to take your word on the Space Mountain. I haven't, it's been 30 years since I rode Space Mountain. But I rode it with the lights on. That was cool. When I was a junior in high school, my high school band and performing arts organizations at my high school, we went to Disney and we performed. The show group that I mentioned in talking about what I didn't like about the opening to the new open for DuckTales. Hold on a second. Here, I did have to blow my nose. Oh, for the tail lighter shade of gray, slightly lighter. All right. How's that look? Dark gray. But we marched in my high school band marched in the Main Street Parade, and we had a pass to go around Disney World, and we rode the last ride of the day for Space Mountain, and they did it with the lights on. And you don't want to ride it with the lights on, because you see just how close you come to having your head taken off when you ride it with the lights on. You come very close to getting your head taken off. It's much scarier with the lights on. Much scarier with the lights on. When I put the liner on here, the outline, it's going to make these the legs and the tail stand out a little bit more. So I know it looks very similar because they are similar, but the outlines will help there. here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm running out of ink on this brush pen. So I tell you what, I'm going to finish this up later after I get a new brush pen. Let's do real quick because we are running late. Got a request for anything. We're going to do a real quick pen and ink, real quick. No color, just real quickie. Do centaurs wear horseshoes? I would imagine that they do. There's definite reasons for them to. I will have them be wearing them in year 2, certainly. Because it's an industrialized, mechanized society they live in, so they're actually more like shoes rather than horseshoes. But anyway, so suggestions for requests for last quick and dirty sketch. Where are my glasses? I know, over there. There we go. A derpy dragon. Okay. All right, a derpy dragon. Let's see. And again, like I said, this is all about just building things up from shapes. These are arcs. These are just arcs. Okay, so I'm gonna actually do this one because the other brush pen is running low on ink. So this is quick and dirty. Oh, come on. Get some ink on there. Load up. If you're wondering what that X in there is for, that's a little note to myself to spot the black in there. Good grief, I'm not loading on this ink, on this Boy, I'm not having any luck loading this tonight at all. I don't know why. Let's try this other net here. Oh, that's better. Oh, I'd say that. The problem with this bottle is that the bottle is low on ink, is what it is. The fin back here, because I can. Up. And that's very wet. To finish it, I would need to erase and then put in the spot the blacks in, which means basically taking a brush and just painting in the black areas, the big black spot blacks. That's why it's called spotting the blacks. You know what? He's going to be a derpy dragon. He needs to be full derp. So let's. All right, there you go. One derpy dragon. All right, there you go. Derpy dragon. All right, and like I said, the next step would be to hit it with the gum eraser. But again, it's wet, and it's going to smear and smudge if I do that, so I'm not going to do that right now. However, I am going to... one last thing's got to be done. Got to sign it, right? Sign and date. Well, you can't see the pencil lines, so the pencil lines need to go. Those are construction lines only. So you really can't see them in the video because of the exposure. But actually, I'm not too bad, especially for. I had no idea that I was going to draw a derpy dragon when I started this. So there we go. One derpy dragon, and I'll finish this after it dries, and I'll post that on Facebook. So, anyway, and I'm not going to close that because that will smudge it. Can you tell I've done this before? Yeah, the smudging part. I've definitely done the smudging part before. Okay, so there we go. That was fun. I hope it's not too dark. Hi. Hello. Okay, that's another one in the books. And we are, we're in an hour and 20 minutes. So we're doing pretty good. So anyway, thank you for joining. I had a lot of fun doing this. And got some nice pieces here. Tomorrow night we will, do something else. I don't know what, but we'll do something else. I saw a request up there to do Durham, maybe. Well, we'll see. Well, maybe we can do something in Durham. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. Hey, I make the corny jokes around here, Darkwing. Anyway, okay, so I think that's about. I think it's about it. Thank you for joining tonight, and we will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, from Worldwide Broadcast Operations Center here at stately Lotshaw Manor. Thank you for joining. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe, please. That helps me. I'll let you know when things are a little closer to a decision, whether I'm going to actually try on Twitch or something like that. I almost forgot. We're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a hopefully by the end of this month, and when I have a date, I'll know for certain. Probably be on a Sunday afternoon. Movies of mass distraction, and I'm going to start talking this up. Really talking this up. This is a project that I've had gestating for a while now, and getting ready to launch. It's a movie show. It's like the old-fashioned UHF movies, horror movie hosts, kind of like Sven Gulli does on MeTV, if you're familiar with him. And every town had one of these, it's something that's been lost in television. I think television's just awful these days. So this is my little attempt to bring back a little bit of fun to TV, and it's basically going to be bad movies. And instead of having people make fun of them, you're going to get a chance to make fun of them, you, the viewing audience, because you'll be able to tweet your riffs, and those will appear in the show, will become a part of the show. So rather than having some guys silhouetted down in the corner making jokes, hey, there's an idea. Yeah, you make no, it'll never work. Anyway, there'll be a running thing of Twitter feeds. So you use the hashtag MMD for Movies of Mass Distraction, and your riffs will appear in the show. And so I'm gonna need to get y'all's help with that to get that started. But when I have more details, I'll pass those along, and hopefully have some promos and things like that coming up soon. So until tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you, and thanks for joining me, and good night. To keep drawing. Bye.